balance is key. While I 100% agree, I just want to talk about the other side of things, and that is losing balance. So I think in the word balance itself, it implies that there could be a loss of balance. And at least in my case, it is very rare that I'm consistent with a lifestyle or a routine. Some point where the routine is broken, something happens, and I lose my balance. So then what happens is I beat myself up for it. Still to this day, even though I'm gonna make a video talking about it, it doesn't mean I'm immune to the automatic reaction when we lose balance. But I think it's important to talk about it because more often than not, it's not the balance that we have trouble with, but finding it and dealing with the loss of it. So what I've realized over the past few years when I started to do more self-development work, self-help work, is that losing balance is inevitable. The important thing when that happens is to see that as an opportunity to grow instead of beating oneself up for it. Of course, it's really hard and it's really frustrating because when you are just beginning to see the benefits of a balanced life, then suddenly something happens and you break that rhythm, that balance that you've built for the last weeks or even months. For sure, it's not fun, it's frustrating, it's discouraging. So how can we use that as an opportunity, and why should we do it? It has happened to me, as I said, a countless amount of times where I'm starting a new change, I'm breaking a bad habit, or I'm developing a new habit that is good for me, and then suddenly something happens and I lose that momentum. The initial idea of wanting to change a habit or wanting to have a routine is usually triggered by those moments where I'm losing balance at a place where I'm ready to bounce back. So I think that is the important realization to make, is that if I look back at my life and I look at the periods where I've had the most profound personal growth, it is very clear to me that losing balance plays a very important role in my desire and my drive to grow and improve. I can almost say that I would not be where I am today, I will not be willing to make those changes if it wasn't for the fact that I wasn't successful in making those changes at one shot in the first place. So you can ask yourself the same question as well. If it wasn't for the moment where you've hit rock bottom, or if it wasn't for the times where you couldn't keep up a routine, are you able to have the same mindset that you have today? Are you able to have that desire to improve if it wasn't for those times? For me, the point at which I told myself I'm going to make a change is when procrastination issue has made my life so miserable that I am watching a video about procrastination at 12 a.m. middle of the night while I have class in the morning, while I'm internally breaking down thinking, what the hell am I doing? And it didn't only happen once, so it takes a lot of work, but that is the journey. First of all, you have to expect those moments to be arising. Know ahead of time that you have to be dealing with a lot of fallbacks, especially when you're starting out. And then the second thing is to really use those opportunities as a springboard for your own growth, because your own path is the proof to yourself that these are springboards. If you have read the book Mastery, the author of the book describes the learning curve. He says that most of our learning experience can be represented by this curve. It is mostly comprised of plateaus, so periods where your growth is stagnant, and then you would have a little trough, periods where there is drastic change, and then after that drastic change, then it's another flat curve. And learning is like that. You have to be expecting a lot of plateaus, and it's only at the end of these plateaus where you are at your lowest where you can spring backwards. Final message is, I think I'm very happy that I was able one morning walking to the train station to kind of make that little switch because I was so tired of every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, I'm in this down period where I don't have my life together as I did the day before, and it's frustrating. But then I made this realization where I can be thankful for those extra noises in my life. I am thankful for those things that kind of kick us out of our homeostasis. It makes us uncomfortable, but it is exactly for those reasons that we're able to strive. Yeah, life is not an eternal balance. I think even the masters, they will have hard times too. So it is exactly the process of growing that makes our lives so special. And it is the process of growing, losing balance, growing, losing balance again, and then growing finally that makes us wise people, and it gives us the experience to talk about those things and send the message to others.